but is it also an ongoing dialogue with lawmakers? Do you encourage your members to have that ongoing dialogue?
Yeah, a lot of our member organizations do have working relationships with legislators, and they really want more women from the community to be a part of the dialogue that they have with the legislators. So part of the Agenda Assembly gets people, that initial education on speaking to the issues, how to feel confident to be able to go and speak to your legislator. And then in the spring, right in the early part of the long session, we have an advocacy day where women can come back and actually put those skills to good use, can actually hear about public policy, a legislation that's in front of their legislators, get educated on it, and actually go and have a couple of minutes to speak to their legislators. And it's a really important opportunity for them to have their voices heard. I think a common saying in the advocacy community, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So we really want women to be there and to have their voices heard.
And there's also, when it comes to making your presence known at the legislature, there is definitely strength in numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to have a day where you have women from all over the state coming together can be really powerful.
Right, and we're hoping that with these assemblies, we can really encourage women, in the long session, but also looking to this fall to be educated on the issues that are important for women in the upcoming elections. We want them to know what issues are at stake for women. There are a lot of issues around education, healthcare policy, access to civic participation, the voting process itself, and we want women to know about these issues as they head to the polls on November 6th. So it's really important for us.
How can people find out more information about upcoming assemblies and about the organization as a whole?
Well, we do, a lot of information is on our website, www.ncwunited.org, and we do have a calendar there that we'll be updating because we have some of the assemblies, a lot of them have their dates, but we are also expecting that other counties, as they get organizers within the county, that they'll be putting up some new dates as well. So that's a great way to find out about it. And then it has information, it has our email there, info@ncwomenunited.org, that you can always, if you're interested and you're not sure if one's happening in the county or you don't know any of the logistics, you can always just contact us.
Okay. We're going to take a break. We'll talk more in just a minute.
Thank you.
Don't go away. Tarheel Talk will continue after these messages. Welcome back to Tar Heel Talk. I'm Sonia Williams. We're talking today about NC Women United, a coalition of organizations and individuals working to gain full political, social, and economic equality for all women throughout the state. With us again is Jina Dhillon, president of NC Women United, and Tara Romano, first vice president of the coalition. Thank you again for being with us.
Thank you.
We talk about this being a coalition. It is made up of a number of organizations around the state. Tell us a little bit about that coalition that makes up NC Women United.
Well, we are a coalition of, at this time, about 30 organizations across the state that represent a wide range of issues. And as an organization ourselves, we are also a member of another coalition called NC Women Matter, and that is a coalition of even more organizations that are working to encourage and expand women voting in North Carolina in the upcoming election. So, you know, we recognize that women are the majority and we need to have our voices heard. And so we are a coalition of progressive organizations, and we are also a part of that really important coalition.
Okay. Now, we've talked about this being a huge election year, and you're talking about the efforts to get out the vote. That also involves a bit of voter education, because every time there is a big election, there are always myths flying around, rumors flying around about where you can vote and who can vote, who can't vote, and what ID or if ID is needed. So talk a little bit about your get out the vote efforts along with that education piece.
Sure, well, I'll start, and Tara, jump in if there's anything else. We're going to have a few different components at every assembly this year that will include get out the vote themes. And the first is a presentation on what's at stake for women, and that will be led by a representative of the NC Women Matter Coalition. That presentation will go over the issues that are at stake for women, why it is so important in this election for women to become engaged and to vote and to be educated on the issues. So that will be one component of every assembly. We'll also have a voter registration table. For the assemblies that happen prior to the voter registration, participants can get registered to vote, and there will also be a person staffing that table who can educate them on, you know, where they need to vote in their county, how they can, you know, make sure that their vote is counted and included. And there will also be a position paper in our draft agenda that talks about the legal requirements around voter ID and, you know, what can and can't be done around voting rights in North Carolina.
And then, you know, with that position paper, they'll also be talking about ways to make sure that we can make sure it's easy for people to vote in North Carolina. We want to, you know, our position paper talks about what's at stake with the voter ID laws, just to make sure that we all understand, you know, how it is that we can make sure that we all are able to get out and vote as easy as we can. Okay.
And tell us again how people can find out more information about the organization and about the upcoming assemblies.
Well, you can go to our website, ncwomenunited.org, and that does have a calendar of events, and it's got all the assemblies that we have listed so far, and there's going to be more, and so that's a great place to look. And if you don't see your county there, you can certainly always contact us to ask about it if you're interested, perhaps. And it can be a daunting challenge, but we hope that's a meaningful and fulfilling one. You can certainly contact us about that as well. If you just have a group of people that you think you can get together, like on a Saturday morning, to do this, we can give you a lot of support to do that. It doesn't have to be like, if it's the first one that's really ever happened in the county, it doesn't have to be a really big one. Like, we can just get some people together.
But definitely ways to get involved in the political process. Tara Romano and Jina Dhillon, we thank you both so much for being with us, and thank you for sharing this information. It's extremely important for people to be involved in the political process, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. That's it for this week's Tar Heel Talk. To comment on this or other episodes of the show, send us a message on our Facebook page or an email to tarheeltalk@fox50.com. I'm Sonia Williams. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.